Good morning, my dear students. Welcome to the online video class session of political science. So here, once again, I am revisioning the previous concepts. So, we have been discussing actually about fourth semester, but as for the university timetable released for the third semester examinations, so that is why I was once again decided to revise the previous concepts. So, okay, my dear students, today let us discuss about the Jawaharlal Nehru's the democratic socialism. So, this is one of the most important questions generally used to ask in the annual examination. So, before going to democratic socialism of Jawaharlal Nehru, so let us discuss about him a brief introduction about his life sketch on or his personal life. So, according to the literature which is availed on the Nehru, I was prepared a PowerPoint presentation for your convenience. So here the PowerPoint presentation gives you a kind of understanding because I was inserted some kinds of pictures which is relevant to the Nehru. So it will give a more understanding than the common lecture. So here, according to the psychology, the pictorial images is uh, gives a better understanding rather than the normal teaching. So that is why I was prepared a PowerPoint presentation. So my dear students, let's get into the PowerPoint. Okay, my dear students, this is about the PowerPoint presentation of Jawaharlal Nehru. So actually, this is the fifth unit in Indian political thought that we have to write the examination about the Indian political thought. So here you have to study the in the Indian political thought. We have to study about the socialist thinkers. So here the socialist thinkers are Nehru, JP, Prakash Narayan, and MN Roy, Manavendranath Roy. So here in this chapter, in the fifth chapter, we need to discuss the three important personalities who are contributed their ideas towards the socialist point of view. So that is why they are called as the socialist thinkers. So my dear students, let us discuss a brief about the Jawaharlal Nehru. So here Nehru was belongs to an elite family and he was a freedom fighter and activist and a great humanitarian. First of all, he was a great humanitarian. So he was worked for a nation. So his contribution is very much to the Indian nation particularly. So he was a great Indian nationalist, the socialist, secularist, and democrat. And he was also the chief architect of the modern Indian nation state because he was the first prime minister of the independent India. So that is why the Nehru was become the central figure of the Indian politics, the before independence and after independence. So that is why he was considering as the central figure of the Indian politics, and he was become the first prime minister of India with his charismatic leadership. And the Nehru was a proponent of the Indian foreign policy, a democratic socialism, and he also reformed the various uh, antiquated the old Indian civilization, Indian civil codes, like the widow's equality, and it was also inheritance of. It was also explained his his ideas on the inheritance of property, Hindu laws, and the caste discrimination. So these are the things he was highlighted during his Indian national movement, and he is also the founder of the the, the various prestigious institutions in the post-independent era. So, like he was the founder of the AIMS, All India Institute of Medical Sciences, and is the founder of IIT, Indian Institute of Technology, and is also the founder of NIT, NIT at Warangal, so National Institute of Technology. So like that, he was propounded various uh, thoughts to the independent India, and he was also proposed the 5 years plan, and was also proposed to the National Development Council (NDC). So like that, he was also known as the Pandit because he was belongs to a Kashmiri Pandit family, and generally he was used as the Chacha because he loves very much to the children. So that is why he was generally used as Chacha Nehru. Okay, and if we discuss some more about his life sketch, that Nehru was born in Allahabad on the November 14th, 1889. So his parents are the Sarvaparani and Motilal Nehru. Generally, the Motilal Nehru is one of the most, the well-known, the figure of the pre-independent India. So he was the leader of the moderate era in the Indian national movement. So it was his Motilal Nehru was started a Swaraj party in the freedom movement, and that is why he was one of the most important the elite uh, family barrister. So that is why he was given a good education to his son Jawaharlal Nehru. So that is why Jawaharlal Nehru was received early education under the home tutor. But in those days, uh, the school system is not availed in India to all the sections. That is why he was received education uh, by the home tutor itself. So the home tutor education is the symbol of prestige of the Motilal Nehrus, and Nehru was studied his graduation in natural sciences, and is also uh, studied the barrister from the London, and but after completion of before the completion and in between the barrister education, he was returned to India, and he was returned to India and joined in the Indian national movement. So in 1912, he was returned to India and joined in the politics, which is followed by the Gandhi, and and was become the secretary of Home Rule League, and was participated many movements in the Indian national movement from 1912 to 1947, but particularly was very much focused or very much attracted to the mind to the figure of to the site of the non-cooperation movement which is taken place in the 1920 and 22. So here he was traveled along with Nehru, and along with Nehru, he was participated almost all the activities which was proposed by the Gandhi. So that is why Nehru and Gandhi's relation is a very close relation. Actually, the Gandhi is the main person behind the Nehru, and Gandhi was a great supporter to the Nehru, who was become the first Prime Minister of India, and such kind of the close relation was there in between the Gandhi and Nehru. And Nehru also studied history, economics, and politics. And along with these three subjects, he has also studied the literature with his personal interest, and is inspired and studied G.B. Shah. George Bernard Shaw is one of the most famous the English literature poet, and J.M. Keynes, and Keynes is the economist, and Bernard Russell is also the English literature literaturist, and that is why he was influenced by the G.B. Shah, Keynes and the Bernard Russells. He was become the general secretary of the All Indian Congress Committee in the 1923. So he was very much passionate towards the Indian politics since from his the the student life. So that is why immediately after completion of his graduation at London, he immediately came to the India and joined in the Indian politics. And by the entry of Indian politics, he was actively participated in all the movements or all the activities which are brought by the Indian freedom fighters. Particularly, he was traveled along with Nehru is the inseparable. So that is why the Nehru relation and uh, the Gandhi's relation is very close, and their contribution is more to the Indian freedom fight. Sometimes Ambedkar was uh, opposed their mindset or their contribution. That is why Ambedkar was written a book, what Gandhi and Nehru have done to the untouchables. That is different case. When we need to discuss about Ambedkar, then we will discuss about the book of what Gandhi and Nehru have done to the untouchables. So that book is written by Ambedkar, but Ambedkar perception is different. Actually, Ambedkar thought about the the the, the social justice or the social justice within the India. But the Nehru and Gandhi was proposed the geographical independence. But Ambedkar, Ambedkar's notion is the another point of view. The difference between the Ambedkar and the Nehru is somewhat different. But even though in the final Nehru was identified the intellectuality of Ambedkar, and he was stated the various statements about Ambedkar that he was a great person. And with Ambedkar, the Dalit community has got the identity. So that is the view of Jawaharlal Nehru about Ambedkar. But here Ambedkar Ambedkar views are different from the Nehru's views. So here we are studying only about the Nehru views, but with the contribution of Nehru, he was identified as the charismatic leader in the Indian National Congress and became the secretary to the All Indian Congress Committee in the 1923. And he was attended 10th anniversary celebrations of Socialist Revolution in Moscow, which is held in the Moscow in 1926. And he was actively participated in lathi charges in the procession of against the Simon Commission, which is which is which is came against the Simon in the 1928. Actual, Actually, the Simon Commission was came to India from the British Parliament to know the situations of India after 1909 and the 1990s acts. How the 1919 Act, 1909 Act and the 1919 Act has taken initiative to develop the Indian politics. So these things are identified by the Simon Commission with the advice of the British Parliament. But in India, the anti-Simon Commission agitation was came to the screen, because in the Simon Commission, almost all the representatives or the foreigners, no one Indian is the member of the Simon Commission. That is why it was opposed by the freedom fighters. And here, the Nehru was the imprisoned several times between 1930 to 42 because of his contribution, because of his participation in various activities. He was also participated in Salt Satyagraha and other movements. And Nehru was the elected as the fourth time president to the Indian National Congress in the in the in India, Indian National Congress. Actually, first he was elected as the president of Indian National Congress in 90s and 1920s, and from 1920s to 1946 he was elected as the fourth time as the president of Indian National Congress. So he was served as the Prime Minister of India from 1947 to 1964. So approximately was ruled India 16 years. So it means 16 years, more than 16 years, 16 years, 286 days he was ruled India as the Prime Minister of India. So here I was given some of the pics, which is the oath ceremony of Jawaharlal Nehru as the Prime Minister of India. And uh, if we studies about the Nehru's writings, the Nehru was the prolific writer in English, and he was wrote many books such as The Discovery of India, The Glimpses of World History, uh, Towards the Freedom. So the Towards Freedom is the Nehru's autobiography. So autobiography means one's personal writing about himself, and the letters from a father to his daughter. Actually, his daughter is studied in a foreign country in England, and generally he used to write letters to his daughter. So all the letters are kept into one book, and it was brought one book with the title of The Letters from a Father to His Daughter. So here, as a father, he was fulfilled the various responsibilities towards his daughter, and he has one more habit to that. After become the Prime Minister of India, he has started to write the letters to the chief ministers of the various uh, states of India. And he was also written a book, The Future on Indian Communalism and Other Subjects. And he was also written a book, The Before Freedom. In that Before Freedom, he was highlighted the situations, particularly the Indian national movement, how the Indian national movement was held under the leadership of Nehru and Gandhi. So these are the some of the eminent writings of Jawaharlal Nehru. Okay, and the Nehru philosophy is different with compared to the Gandhi's philosophy, and with compared to the Nehru's philosophy. So Nehru was the well educated and a wealthiest person, and he has some ideas, or he has followed some certain the different philosophy. So that is why his philosophy is very essential to discuss to the Indian politics. Particularly the student of political science, the Nehru philosophy is very important to know as a student of political science. So he was the exponent of a democratic socialism. So this is the most important concept of the Nehru, that he was proposed the democratic socialism. So here, what is democratic socialism? Actually, the democratic socialism is nothing but he was not it is the middle path between the capitalism and between the socialism. So it means it not at all support completely to the capitalism, or it is not at all completely support to the communalism. So that is why it is the balanced step of step uh, in between the capitalism and the communalism. So that is why it was proposed by Nehru as the new paradigm, as the democratic socialism. One side is strongly supporter of the democracy, and another side he was the supporter of the socialism. And the democratic socialism could evaluate all the evils of the third world countries, particularly uh, which third world countries are facing the various problems since from the beginning. Even today, third world countries are facing various problems. So by the concept of the democratic socialism, the third world countries are alleviate such kind of evils which they are facing. So like uh, the democratic socialism is supports to the to the integrated development of a nation. And here the democratic socialism supports the national unity. So that is why uh, the Nehru was proposed as uh, the strong supporter of a national unity, and he was also considered as the humanist because he was balanced the various concepts like the communalism and as well as the capitalism, and he was also the supporter of rationalism. So here, the rationalism is nothing but it is one kind of philosophy in the political scenario that an individual cannot look over his personal. He has to think about others. He has to think over others, and uh, he has to give helping hand to the others, and he has to get some kind of help from the others. So this kind of the giving and taking activity is supports to the rationalism. And here the most important concept of Nehru's views on democratic socialism, what he has explained about particularly the democratic socialism. So here the democratic socialism is an ideology which is extension of the which is the extension of the liberal propagation of the democracy. So here the liberal propagation of the democracy is the democratic socialism. So it is the democratic socialism is very suitable to the to fulfill the needs of the developing countries, particularly the third world countries. The third world countries are facing various kinds of problems. So the democratic socialism, the concept of democratic socialism is very suitable to the developing countries. If the developing countries are followed the capitalism, there are some kind of deviation. If they are followed the socialism or the communalism, if they followed communism, there is also some kind of deviation. But in the democratic socialism, the balance between the capitalism and communalism. So that is why it is very useful to the particularly to the third world countries. So here, what is stand by third world countries or what is mean by third world countries? So third world countries means the developing countries. So the backward countries or the developing countries are used to term as the third world countries. And Nehru or democratic socialism, the Nehru's democratic socialism is strongly believes in the economy and society. The economy and the society should function the democratically to meet the needs of the whole community. So here the democratic socialism is should function in a democratic manner to fulfill the needs of the whole community. Here whole community means the entire nation's community. And the democratic socialism is the middle path between the capitalism and the communalism. It completely not the supporter of the capitalism, or it is neither it is not completely supporter of the communalism. So it is the middle path, or it is a balanced path of the capitalism and as well as the communalism. And here Nehru was strongly believed that, and he was strongly believed and argued that the democratic socialism is mitigate all the evils of the third world countries. He was strongly believed, and he was strongly stated, not only believed, he was also strongly stated that the democratic socialism is the only way to to mitigate the evils of the third world countries. And Nehru was a socialist and a democratic. He was a practical ideas of democratic socialism are very different. For example, his views his views on freedom is different, and his views on the democracy is different. His views on foreign policy is different. His views on secularism is different. So his views on the Panchashila or the internationalism is different. So these all are combined by the Jawaharlal Nehru in his the democratic socialism. So my dear students, so here I am winding up the session, and I think it is enough. So tomorrow we will discuss particularly about the concepts of the democratic socialism. So what are the concepts were highlighted by the Nehru in the process of democratic socialism. So today just the brief introduction about the Nehru and his life sketch and his books and his thought. So here we have given a, a framework of the Nehru's democratic socialism. So if the examiner asked about the question about, for example, write the democratic socialism of Nehru, and here today we learned the half of the answer, half of the base length to the answer. And tomorrow or in next class, we will discuss particularly about the concepts. What are the concepts were highlighted by the Nehru in the support of the democratic socialism? Okay. So, my dear students, take care. Bye. So, bye. Take care.